It's been 2 years since the infamous Access Hollywood video derailed Billy Bush's career. He just posted on Instagram that it humbled him, but he also felt he was betrayed and abandoned, and calls for the end of the war on flaws, which he blames on activist media and social media. Is he letting himself off the hook here? I don't know. I don't know.
The picture's not humble. I mean,
well, the thing is, I said this during our morning meeting. Sometimes I'm conflicted when it comes to Billy Bush because the president is the one that made the grab him in the genitals comment, and he's in the White House. And then you have all these other people, and Kavanaugh is on the Supreme Court, but Billy Bush can't get a job. And so I wonder, how do you forgive him? But he's also was an enabler.
Right.
During this process.
Not even just in that process, but well, it was later, but we found out about it earlier. I remember during the Olympics when Ryan Lochte had his little, that young man was out on the town. Everybody was saying that he was a young guy. He was 32 and he's just a kid. And I remember he got into a back and forth with Al Roker. And Billy Bush. All I remember about that moment was Al Roker and that stir. If you guys go online and look it up, Al Roker was working that tea because Billy Bush kept saying that people were embellishing, that Lochte was just embellishing
and
what he said.
Lochte was a kid.
That he was a kid. And Al Roker was like, no, he lied. He lied to his parents. He lied to the American people.
Yeah.
He's not a child. And I feel like it's the same thing that we saw in Kavanaugh. Not to go back to that, but we allow these boy men, these dude bros, to be dude bros well into their whatever. And they're able to drink their stuff
70s.
And do whatever, whatever they want to do. 90s. And we just accept it.
Yeah.
And I don't... You can do whatever you want in this life. You can say whatever you want, but there are consequences. And I feel like right now, there are certain people in society that are just realizing that there's consequences for them as well. And they feel like victims because what has been happening to everybody else is finally happening to them. If you do something dumb, you might lose your job.
You might lose your job.
Now, they've been falling forward for generations. They're moving up. We're Supreme Court now. We love beer and squee and PJ. But there are consequences to your behavior. And if Billy Bush, God bless him, has now found the consequences for him, then I'm going to let him ride it out because consequences build character.
But I think what I totally agree with that. I agree with that. And I think as a society, we're all forgiving people. Like when we had Norm Macdonald on the show just a few weeks ago, that was such a moment for all of us, for him to explain himself. He got in a lot of trouble for siding with the folks that have been accused. And we allowed him to explain where he was coming from. And I think all of us in that moment forgave him in a sense. So I'm all for forgiving people. I think what Billy Bush is saying is, I took accountability. I was punished for it. Not everyone was. NBC was part of this. The president was part of this. Why was I the only one that took the fall?
But my thing with the Billy Bush thing in particular is if you listen to the video, it's that Trump's joking about grab her in the genitals, and then the woman he's joking about, Billy pushes her physically. And is like, hug her. And that was my biggest problem with it. I distinctly have a memory. I was in Boston with my friends, watching that video, being horrified, and having a conversation with my father being like, you cannot support this type of behavior. You cannot support this. And having this really long conversation with my dad just about, thank God that I miraculously live in some unicorn land where I have a father who never behaved or spoke like this. But I will say shaming culture is something that I'm 100% against. I think we've gone way too far.
Shaming culture?
Well, like one example that I was going to give is yesterday, I had a rough day coming back to the show yesterday. It's just been hard. Everybody knows that. And I talked about when I first found out my dad had terminal cancer with the lifespan of 12 to 14 months, I said that I got wasted, which I did that night. And there was a headline yesterday that said, Meghan McCain, The View's Meghan McCain tearfully opens up about drinking through her dad's cancer.St of all, screw you. I did not drink through my father's cancer.
Let me put it this way. Until you lose someone, until someone goes, shut up.
That's right.
Because unless you've been there, and I was high through my brother's death, and I was high through my mother's death. And you know why? Because sometimes it's hard to put one foot in front of the other, and until you've been there, shut up.
But after everything that you said yesterday,
I think, but also, exactly what you said, until you walk in someone's shoes in situations like that. But are you going to shame Whoopi and I for dealing with death the way that we dealt? And by the way, God, therapy, doctors, I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, took my dad to radiation and chemo treatments. How dare you say that I am somehow an alcoholic or imply that? And by the way, even if I was, I'd be talking about it on the talk show that I co-host. And I just don't understand this culture of shaming us for our vices. I like to drink on occasion. I do not have any substance abuse
I
problems.
enjoy drinking with
And it's I'm sorry.
It's
and
legal.
But here's the
Drinking
exact
is
problem.
legal, y'all.
Drinking is totally legal.
Yeah.
But of
Yes,
everything you
It's not
said
the
yesterday.
20s.
Of everything you said yesterday, of being faithful, of
That's
the emotions.
what they grabbed.
That was the
that's-
headline.
Well,
that was all
we
you
know,
read.
but we know what that is. That's to get people to click and do all of that.
But you're
Clickbait, they call
shaming
it.
me for drinking Jack
but
Daniels.
but everything is shame. Everyone
But we
gets
tend to
shamed
shame
here.
women more than we tend
That's
to shame
true,
men
because somebody said they love beer and anybody have problems.
Well, that was my point, right? Nobody had a problem with it. And in fact, he was loaded
ding
for
on
it.
the thing.
He was
Yeah.
loaded for it. And I go back to my original point. I don't think that women can have it both ways. You have someone like Susan Collins who says, I really believe Dr. Ford, but I believe she was assaulted, but I don't believe that Kavanaugh did it. I mean, you cannot have it both ways. You can't say that I believe a woman until I don't believe her.
I
mean, it just
freely
doesn't
admitted
make sense.
to getting wasted, so it wasn't an accusation.
But also,
I said
No.
yesterday.
Listen, she ate it last time she stood up for the right
Susan
side,
Collins.
Susan Collins. So I understand. And we heard Heidi Heitkamp say, listen, I know I'm not going to get reelected because of where I stand on this, but I have to stand up. And if you don't stand up
Yeah.
for something,
Yep.
you will fall for anything.
anything.
And
yeah.
that's kind of where we are right now.
Can't be on the sideline.
And the bottom line really is, you folks have a decision to make. What is your threshold? How much do you want to win?
Right.
Is it worth your daughter's assault and not being believed? Is it worth that? You have to make it. Everybody in
worth
the
your
room
soul?
has to make a decision. Where do you stand and how do you stand? And are you strong enough to stand up? I know Heidi's not going to win, but damn it, I'm so proud of her
Me too.
for saying this means more to me
Do you think
than
she would
winning.
have done
You
the
just
same
said
thing?
don't believe the polls.
Yeah, you
Stranger
never
things
know.
have happened. You never.
Well,
you never
stranger
know.
things have happened, but
guess.
I just want to.
Do you think she would have
because
done it if she were 2 points down?
I think she would have done it no matter what.
Yeah.
And I also believe that that's why I say, like, those two women, Susan Collins and the other woman who
Murkowski?
stood up
Murkowski.
against Susan
DeVos.
DeVos, Betsy DeVos. They stood and said, this is not good. They
Right.
got shouted down. They got voted over. Sorry, baby. Go ahead. But
Go ahead.
we'll be back.
Well, I would say